The best grilled chicken ever requires just a little bit of effort.
It's juicy.
Juicy.
It's smoky.
Smoky.
Tender.
Tender.
Delicious.
Always delicious.
Faye should be quiet. We've combined 4 of our favorite tried and true grilling techniques to create the ultimate chicken. Our first technique, spatchcock.
Spatchcock!
Basically what that means is you're gonna remove the spine and fan the chicken out. What we do is throw this in a Ziploc bag in the freezer, and when it comes time to make chicken stock, that's gonna be your best friend.
That's flavor. All right, flip it and reverse it.
You want me to lay it down, flip it and reverse it?
Yep.
If you wanna take the wishbone out, it does make it a little easier to slice up the breast when you're all done, but we're gonna leave it in for now.
And you're gonna break the sternum.
Oh yeah, I just gotta give it a little CPR. Ah, snap. We want everything to be symmetrical and uniform, and you have this small piece hanging off, it's just gonna burn. Get it tucked underneath, it's all gonna stay together in one nice, neat shape.
And that brings us to our next technique, dry brining. We're gonna use our own dry brine. It's a one-stop shop. You don't need anything else. You're gonna have the most flavorful, crispy, juicy chicken you've ever had.
The salt on the outside of the chicken is gonna wick out moisture, which is gonna dissolve the salt, and then it's gonna get reabsorbed. That salt is gonna denature the protein so that when it cooks, it doesn't constrict and squeeze out its own juices.
All right, ready, Mark?
Once we brined under the skin, we're also gonna brine the skin itself to draw out any moisture.
So you can get it extra crispy.
Science. We're gonna let this thing dry brine overnight.
We're putting this on the rack so that we can get the air all the way underneath it. We want it to dry out on the surface so we can get a great crisp.
All right, while our chicken is brining, let's make a couple of awesome side dishes. One of our favorite things to have with our best ever chicken is broccolini. And then Mark, my lovely assistant, is going to put on some kosher salt. Right there, you missed a spot. Right there, you missed another spot. You're still missing a spot.
How's that?
All right, let's just throw this right on the grill. For all the recipes today, we're going with the king of charcoal grills, the Big Green Egg.
With its range of versatility and 24-inch diameter, you can indirectly smoke a brisket, sear a generous amount of burgers, or even cook the best chicken ever. We have this on a medium-high, indirect heat, so we can let it roast and not have to worry about flare-ups. Broccolini gets an excellent color, and you can tell when it's done by the smell.
You want to evaporate moisture, create a great char, and pick up some of that wood fire flavor, and we've done that with this.
Let's make one last side dish before getting back to our bird.
Let's make our polenta.
Side note, this is an incredibly involved and honestly dangerous technique. Be very careful.
That's it. I think we're done.
Great.
This polenta is great. It's already cooked. It's in this awesome shape. All you need to do is slice it. You'll be good to go.
The main ingredient of grilling polenta is olive oil.
I'd argue it was polenta.
The olive oil is going to give you great flavor, but go easy so you can avoid flare-ups. No, I'll move you just.
I thought you said this was easy.
We're gonna use direct heat from our charcoal, so we'll remove the indirect heat plate and put these right on the grate.
And those are going to develop some excellent char. And finally, let's get back to our bird.
This was just in the fridge for a little over 24 hours, and you can actually see the skin is tighter and drier, and the color of the brine is more concentrated because a lot of the salt and a lot of the sugar actually dissolved and got absorbed into the chicken, leaving these beautiful herbs on top.
I was going to
The
say,
fennel.
look at the herbs. And that leads us to our next technique. We're going to do this chicken confit. What does that mean?
With feet.
That's not what that means.
Confit is when you submerge your main ingredient in fat and almost braise it.
Let's go ahead and put our spatchcock chicken. Now just be careful. They're a little delicate when you've spatchcocked them, so you just kind of want to give it a little support.
Emotional or physical?
Yes. You're doing great.
These tomatoes that braise along with the chicken are gonna add a little bit of sweetness to everything else in here, but the tomatoes themselves, they're gonna be braised in chicken fat and olive oil.
Don't worry about them bursting. In fact, you kind of want them to. Kind of when you hit into them, it shoots the flavor all over the oil.
All right, we're gonna add a
metric ton,
which is slightly less than 42 gallons of olive oil. That's gonna seem like a lot, but don't worry about it. We're gonna filter it out, save it, and we're gonna have flavored, amazing olive oil at the end to use for other cooks. Cancel my 3 o'clock.
A lot of olive oil. All right, we still have a tiny bit of surface area exposed, but we're gonna add some cipollini onions just to raise the height.
These are frozen cipollini onions. I don't know if you've ever tried to peel the fresh ones, but life isn't worth it.
Don't buy the fresh ones.
Life's too short. You should probably put your face right next to
You
it.
should probably pour it correctly.
Oh, son of a...
Sorry, little guy. I need a moment. Just give me a moment. To continue seasoning, we'll just add some garlic and fennel seed. All right, we're gonna cap this off by putting in some really fresh ingredients. We've got thyme here and oregano, 2 classic Italian pairings.
We're gonna leave these on the stems, and then when everything's done cooking, we can just pull the empty stems out because these are actually going to cook, soften up, fall off. All right, the tides have risen.
We're gonna throw this on the big green egg on indirect heat around 250 degrees and cover it in foil. We don't want any moisture to escape. We've cooked this for many hours. It's time to check the internal temp, and we're looking for about 155 degrees in the breast.
Look what we've done.
Now that our chicken is confit, we need to let it rest and have the internal temp come down so it doesn't overcook on our next step.
Pro tip, drain some oil.
Our confit chicken is going skin side down on the grill, so we want to pat off any extra oil to make sure we don't have any flare-ups on the grill.
Yep.
For the confit cooking, which was low and slow, we actually put this heat deflector plate in down there so you get even indirect heat.
But now we're gonna take out the deflector plate because we wanna let her rip. Got the pan? Everything that we put into this recipe is actually being used. All of this stuff isn't just about being pretty, it's about functional usage. It all adds layers of flavor. You're gonna wanna eat this stuff. Mark is now gonna finish it with a little salt.
The tomatoes have poached as well, and the skin actually came right off. So now we've got that beautiful exposed flesh.
We're gonna drop the veg in the big green egg and get them going. Off to the grill she goes.
All right, you don't want this super hot, but you need it hot enough to crisp the skin. Keep an eye on this because this is a risky move. You put a lot of work into this. You don't want a massive olive oil flare up on your chicken. Rest tight, sweetie.
It's looking great, so let's go bone side down and let this cook just a bit longer.
All right, let's take this bird off and build our plate.
Perfect, nice work. We grilled this skin side down, got it nice and crispy. Our veggies are now roasted and have a nice caramelization on the outside, so we're just gonna scoop them out, get them on the plate.
It's amazing the tomatoes stayed intact because that means when you bite into them, they're just gonna go, it's gonna be delicious. We are going to add some burrata cheese, which I'm gonna let Mark put around there, and fresh basil. Is there anything better than fresh basil?
Burrata cheese.
Exactly. And lastly, let's garnish our sides. For the broccolini, we're going with sliced red chilies and a bit of lemon and flaky salt. Nice, very nice. Then we'll top our grilled polenta with some freshly made pesto and basil. All right, Mark, let's go ahead and try this chicken.
Nope, first up, we're gonna try the polenta. We went big on the chicken, so we went simple and flavorful on the polenta.
Yeah, let me see. Can I get a bite?
Yeah, here's your pork, there's the stuff right there.
You get that smoky, robust flavor with this sweet corn finish and pesto. I mean, come on!
Broccolini.
Let's try some broccolini. Mark?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah!
Get off.
Grilled broccolini is delicious on its own, but you add in olive oil, sea salt, and then that squeeze of fresh lemon juice and a little sweet chili at the end. It's perfect. You're making a hell of a mess. Come on, we're gonna try the chicken now.
All right, Mark's gonna give me my favorite piece. Holy tender. Aw, thanks, Mark. You give me a piece of basil and everything? Look at that. He gave me a little bit of my burrata cheese, some of the olive oil, actually some of the juice from the chicken, the oil that we used to cook, basil, and even put a cipollini onion on there. Look at how tender and beautiful that is. I mean, I can tell you right now, it's the most moist piece of chicken. It's been sitting in olive oil for a gazillion hours, so thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
You're a pal. Cheers.
Dude, that's one of the best bites of chicken I've ever had in my life.
It's unreal.
You wanna know why?
Why?
Because this is the best grilled chicken ever. You hear me?
I don't have much else to say, man.
This lives up to everything we hoped for. Turns out that combining 4 different grilling techniques does in fact create the best grilled chicken ever. If you want to see another episode about another topic from the Dad's Guide, leave it in the comments. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and well, stay juicy,